Well, good morning and welcome to my backyard where I am sitting enjoying just the last few sips of my coffee before I get this day started. I've already been up for a while. I've taken a shower and blown my hair out, but just trying to savor the last bit of peace before we launch into what will inevitably be a busy day and a busy week, all full of good things, but lots of busyness. This time of year, late August, as we kind of get prepped to turn over into the fall. It's a season of transition, so there's lots to do to prepare for that. If you're new, my name is Kristen, and I make videos sharing about the honest, messy, and beautiful parts of life, and I'm really glad that you're here to join me. We're going to head inside and do my makeup and get dressed and get this day going. Thank you for being here. So I'm getting ready to head out the door, and I'm packing just a super quick snack or snacks to bring with me. I don't like to stop as much as I can avoid it anyway. I don't like to stop and get like quick food when I'm out. It's expensive and it usually makes me feel really cruddy. So I've got a cheese stick, a jar of veggies, my seed cycling seeds, which I've got sunflower seeds and sesame seeds in with some cottage cheese. And then I've got this delicious apple and a little tin of almond butter today. So I think this is probably sufficient to get, oh, I forgot one thing. These are like my new favorite sweet treat. I don't have them often because it's like gummy and so it's not super great for your teeth. They're called, they're by a company, I think they're just called Bear. Let me grab the box. Yes, I think they're just called Bear. Here's the box. And this is their fruit splits product. It says made with real fruit, no added sugar. And it's true. So it's dried fruit sticks, kind of think like fruit leather. And this box has 2 flavors in it. And the one I picked today is the apple, pear, and strawberry flavor. And so its entire ingredient list is apples, pears, strawberries, and black carrot juice. That's it. And I guess it's just blended and dried down into like a fruit leather. It's super delicious and makes me feel like I'm having a sweet treat or like candy without like a ton of added sugar or food dyes and things that I just know my body does not appreciate when I eat. So no shame to candy. We certainly have our fair share around here sometimes, but this is a way that I can kind of meet myself where I need to be met, have a sweet treat, have something that feels fun without ending up feeling like junk 30 minutes later. So I'm going to pack this stuff up and we're going to hit the road. We have run our errand for work and now we're headed from the vendor back to my office. And I thought I would catch you up on the weekend because it was kind of a little bit of a weird weekend. Even though it is still the middle of August, for us, it kind of is the end of summer. Our daughter, my stepdaughter, she goes back to school this week. She enters into the realm of high school. So this really was the last hurrah of summer for us over the weekend. And she really wanted to just kind of take it easy, take it slow before she gets back into all of the hustle and bustle of the school year. She's going to be great in high school. She's going to love it. I really do think so. She's excited to get back to the routine, but I'm sure she's a little bit anxious about the first day. Who doesn't get first day jitters for any first day ever, whether it was school or work or whatever? It can be a little bit nerve-wracking. So this weekend, what do we do? Saturday, we just kind of laid low. I ran some household errands like grocery shopping and things like that. And her dad took her to get a new backpack for school. Very important. Very important. You know, when you feel like you're pulled together, it just speaks into your confidence. Not that you need new things to feel confident, but when you feel like you've got everything together and you're organized, it kind of can help elevate your confidence a little bit. So they went and got a new backpack and I ran errands and then came home. What else did we do Saturday? I just did a lot of work on Saturday. We did some stuff around the house. Yeah, it was just kind of easy, kind of a low and slow day. And then Sunday, we churched, of course, and then we went to visit my brother and sister-in-law and spent the afternoon with them. Their eldest is getting ready to start college. So he moves into college this week, which is thrilling. Very, very exciting. So just lots of transitions for a lot of people in our life. So that was fun. And then last night, my husband and I, we have a standing Sunday evening date night. After the weekend with the kids, we try really hard to purpose time just for the two of us to enjoy one another's company, catch up, laugh, play, just be silly before we enter the work week. And so sometimes that looks like going out to a really nice dinner. Sometimes it's going to an arcade. Sometimes it's going for a walk. It really just depends. But yesterday we decided going for a really nice meal could be fun. So we went to a local restaurant that's a little bit more on the fancy side. It's local to our area. It's not a chain or anything like that. We are heading back to New England this fall. Well, I'm going back. He's going for the first time up to where we are. He's been through, he's gone to Cape Cod and stuff before, but he's never been up through New Hampshire or Maine, and that's really where we're spending the bulk of our time. So we were watching some videos on Acadia National Park, which I went to in May. We're going to together next month in September. I cannot wait. I absolutely cannot wait. It is going to be so fun to do that with him. It's going to be so much fun. Anyway, so we watched videos, getting a glimpse of that, and then kind of tucked in and went to bed early. Slept really well, and both of us are ready to just tackle this week. This week is big for both of us in many different ways. And last week, although he didn't take any days off work, my husband kind of participated in some of the activities surrounding, what's it called, the BMW tournament. I try with sportsing. I try so very hard. There was a golf tournament, like the BMW golf tournament, part of the PGA. I sound foolish. Anyway, it happened here in our area, and he participated in some of the events for work because as part of his job supporting people with disabilities, they have some athletics that they do, including a new golf program. So he was able to take some folks to the practice day and meet and greet with players, and I don't know, he's just been living his best life. He loves golf so much. Anyway, so that was his week last week, which was super fun. And like I said, he was working the whole time, but it did take him away from his more traditional daily tasks. So he's probably a little bit behind on some of the administrative stuff he has to do. So he's prepared for a big week. I've got a big week at work. We've got a big week at home. Just lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Nothing bad. Everything good. Well, everything the same. Life. So that was our weekend.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday. It's a little after 8 o'clock now, and I'm just getting ready to head out the door. I'm all dressed and ready to go. I just need to finish brewing my coffee, which is a necessity today. I did not sleep very well last night. I've got this late summer, early fall cold settling in, and it kept me up all night coughing, so that's not ideal. I don't really love starting my week off kind of feeling depleted, but it's going to be a great day. We're starting the day with a little road trip to one of our locations that's kind of furthest away from my home. I have to go do some measuring there for some signs they need installed. So we're going to start our day there, and then we'll head into the office. Yesterday, the work day, holy cow, it was great. I had a great day, but I didn't get out of the office until almost 6 o'clock, which is very abnormal for me. Usually our work day wraps pretty promptly at 5 o'clock. It's ministry, so certainly there are times where we have to work later or on days that we would traditionally have off. But yesterday was just a really good conversation with one of my coworkers, and it kept us there a little bit late. Afterwards, I did go to the pet store and pick up our dog Clover some more food because she was dismally low and I didn't want to get us in a pickle. So I went and got her food. My husband ordered a pizza, and then we just had a pretty chill night here at home. But while I was out at the pet store, my battery died and I didn't have a backup with me. So hence me not finishing yesterday. So let's go brew some coffee and then we'll get this Tuesday started. All right, we've got the necessities, so let's hit the road. Well, hello. It is the end of the day. It's about 5:45 and I finished up my workday about an hour ago and took the last hour to go walking with my very closest friend, and I have the privilege of working with her, so that is one of the fringe benefits of my job. There are a lot of fringe benefits in working in ministry in general, but one of them is I do genuinely get to work with my very best friend and my whole collection of friends, where we really operate like a family where I am, and that is, I mean, you can't put a price on that. So after work, we went walking, and it's been a while since we've had good catch-up time. I guess it's probably been 2 weeks, which might not seem like a long time, but for us, it is a long time. So I just got to hear about her husband and her son, like her family, their dynamics, how she's doing. I could share some of the stuff we've had going on in our life, some of the tensions that we've been navigating with our co-parents, and praying for our daughter who started school today, and just all of the things. I'm sorry, there's lots of traffic behind me if you can hear it. So that is much needed soul care, that time with a close friend where you can just let all of your guard down and be authentically yourself, where you are just loved and accepted for exactly who you are, and you can share what's on your heart. I don't take that for granted, or at least I try not to. I recognize just how rare and precious that is. So if you don't have someone in your life where you feel like you can just come to the table and be yourself and celebrate joys with another person and also bare your soul to them, just know that this is a space we're trying to cultivate community here, where we can share one another's burdens and share one another's joys. So of course, feel free to comment if you're comfortable, or you can send me a direct message on one of my socials and I'll do my best to respond. Always with prayer requests, please. Just make it clear that that's what you're asking, is for prayer. I just think it's critical that we have people in our lives who can see us. We all need to feel seen. And I'm just very grateful for her and for our friendship. We've been through a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Life has lifed for both of us. And I just think back to some of the hardest moments I've ever had in my life, and she's been a rock, a complete anchor in that storm for me, and I love her fiercely. So anyway, that was a wonderful way to end the work day. Work was great. This morning, I think I mentioned I went on a road trip for work to do some measuring, and that was really fun. I love that kind of hands-on piece of my job. It's something different. It gets me away from my computer. I enjoy it. So that was great this morning. And then lots of project stuff at work today, lots of admin, we're figuring out some stuff. We have some dynamic changes with our staffing coming up. All good stuff, very good stuff in fact, but there's a lot of details to figure out, and we recognize that there's a chance, if we aren't thoughtful, there's a chance that we could find ourselves in a little bit of a pickle, just the timing of it all. We do have Christmas coming up, and even though it's August, we are deep in the throes of planning for that already. In fact, it feels like we're a little bit behind. So that's kind of weighing on us, not in a bad way, but kind of inspiring some hustle, which is always good. And then I took out my lunchbox and realized I left, have you ever done this? I left my entree for lunch, the big part of my meal, in the refrigerator at home, and I only had snacks. And I love a snack, but I was so hungry. So I ended up going to Chipotle and got a salad. We don't have a ton of options near where I work. Everything's probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes away. And when you add return time, it just takes a while. The Chipotle is only 10 minutes down the street, so I don't feel bad going and snagging something there, but it is just, everything is so expensive. It was $17 for my salad and a drink today. And I don't get meat even. Like it's just, I don't know. Everything's just so expensive right now. We're really feeling that pinch. So I already put a reminder in my phone for the morning to make sure that I pack my whole lunch. I'm a woman with ADD, and so this morning I was trying to get out the door. I had stuff I wanted to do. I was packing my lunch. I even made my coffee, but then I got distracted by something else in the middle of it all. And anyway, I ate, I'm fine, but it wasn't expected, and I definitely don't like making a habit out of grabbing quick food like that. A salad from Chipotle is a better option than many other options, but still, like, it's expensive and it doesn't really leave me feeling 100%. So yeah, that was the work day. That was my after work, and I'm headed home to spend the evening with family. I think we have, my husband and I have some like planning stuff to do for our trip in September. So I'm so excited to be able to share more about that trip. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be, I just know it's going to be so special, so memorable. And I think it's really going to be restorative for both of our souls, and who doesn't need more of that in their life? So I'm gonna head home and I'll check in with you tomorrow morning.
Well, good morning and happy Wednesday. Actually, gloomy Wednesday. It's very gloomy outside today. Again, we have a hurricane that's been traveling up the East Coast, and it's impacting our weather. It's not supposed to make landfall at all, but like the outer bands could cause rough surf and some coastal flooding, and we're just having gloomy weather here in central Maryland. There's a window behind you, so I'm looking. It's about 8:15 this morning. We're getting ready to hit the road. I packed my lunch today, and you'll be happy to know I packed it in its entirety. So as long as I don't forget my lunchbox at home, I should actually have a meal today at work. It's a work day laced with meetings, lots of very good, very productive meetings. I'm looking forward to it. We just have a few finishing touches before we hit the road, so I'll finish up. It's very humid here today, so I just chose not to really do, I love this little bracelet. It's just a little elastic golden bead bracelet, but I don't know, it's kind of subtle and fun. And I really love this lip balm. It's one of these Bisou balm. I don't know if it is in the shade Callison, maybe. I don't know. I think it's like My Lips But Better. Their whole line, I have a couple of them, and their whole line, it's very, it's sheer. It definitely feels like a balm on your lips, so it's comfortable. It lasts a while. I don't feel weird about reapplying it at work because it's not like, sometimes I get self-conscious about a lipstick that maybe is very bright or very heavy, and these are just not that. I also have accidentally left it in the car in the middle of the summer, and it's not melted, so take that for what it's worth. All right, well, we're gonna go grab the lunchbox and hit the road, and I'll check in with you in a little bit. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Are you exhausted? Because I am exhausted. Real talk, as a 40-year-old woman, sleep is becoming ever more elusive with each passing night. I'm so tired. I fell asleep, well, I guess we went to bed last night, excuse me, around 9 o'clock in the evening, which is not atypical for me. I've always been an early to bed, early to rise person. And historically, like meaning 3+ years ago, I'd go to bed around 9 o'clock and I'd wake up in the 4 o'clock hour ready to start my day. Not anymore. I go to bed at 9 o'clock because I'm utterly exhausted, but then typically I'm waking up around 2:30, and then I'm up for a couple of hours. And then around 4:30, when I would typically be waking up to start my day, I crash out. I'm just exhausted and I fall asleep, and then getting up at 6 o'clock feels like a literal chore. Like I cannot do it. Well, last night was super fun because I fell asleep pretty quickly when we went to bed, and then I woke up around 11:30, and then I was up. I was up until I saw the clock at 3:37.
at some point I did fall back asleep, and then I didn't wake up again this morning until 7 o'clock, which just makes my whole morning feel hurried and rushed, and I have to choose what I'm going to prioritize. So like, I didn't have any Bible time this morning, which is not how I typically start my day. I usually start my day slow and in the Word. Now today, I'll listen to scripture on the drive into work. Like, I really like to be steeped in God's Word when I start my day. We'll talk about personality types, I'm sure, at some point, but I'm an Enneagram 1. When I'm not healthy and not taking care of myself, I am quick to anger. And I am just one of those people who needs to kind of reset and restart every single day. Sometimes I need to reset and restart several times a day. But anyway, part of that reset and restart is being just fully steeped, fully immersed in God's Word. That is an integral part of every morning for me, so that I am not an utter nightmare in the world. But today, I just didn't get to do that the way that I would prefer, because I had other things like, I don't know, showering. That feels like a necessity before going into the workplace. So if you are a woman of a certain age, speak to me about your sleep patterns. What is working for you? What has certainly not worked for you? Because like, I got up, I walked around, I read, I did some stretching. I even ended up moving into the guest room thinking like, maybe I'll just try to go to bed all over again. I'll just get in a new bed with new pillows. And anyway, I'm tired. I'm very tired. And I've been talking with some of my girlfriends at work and my best girl friend, and everyone is experiencing their own perimenopausal symptoms in my little friend group, those of us between like 38 and 48. Most of us are experiencing some disruption of our sleep, and we don't know what to do. So maybe there is some wise woman out there who can offer her I don't know, suggestions, encouragement. Pray for us all. We're just tired. If you are not yet experiencing any kind of perimenopausal symptoms, bless you. And may the Lord keep you in the season of life that you're in for as long as possible. Because this is I just feel tired. I feel tired all of the time. So let's talk about yesterday. We checked in yesterday morning. We left for work. Yesterday was a good day at work, but a really hard day at work. Part of my job sometimes feels like is just delivering bad news to people or hard news to people. And yesterday was one of those days. Every single conversation I had, literally every single conversation I had, I was delivering hard news or bad news or telling people an answer that they wouldn't prefer. And I ended up texting my husband late afternoon saying, I just feel like the bad guy today. I feel like I'm somehow out against everybody else. And that really is not, like, that's super not my posture. I'm very collaborative. I want us to all work together. I mean, it's ministry, for goodness sake. Like, it's the best job in the world. And it only works when we're functioning really well and like a really cohesive team. But yesterday I just felt like I, out of necessity, was delivering hard news to everybody, which is my least favorite part of my job. Now, I don't mind being honest and direct, and I think confrontation, when done in a really healthy way, is healthy and good and loving even. So it's not that I don't like saying hard things. It's just, man, when it is the only thing that you're doing is telling people hard news, and you know that the answers that you're giving are making their days a little bit more difficult, it kind of weighs a little heavy. And that's how I felt yesterday. So good day, very productive day, but just a kind of a hard day. And then we got home last night, and last night was our like trash rotation. We take our trash cans down on Wednesday evenings for a Thursday morning collection. And so we have a secret shame in our home, and that would be our freezer. It had become, I don't know, a graveyard to past hopes and dreams of delicious meals. And we were really only using literally like the top like 2 inches of the freezer. It's one of those drawer freezers that pulls out, which I think is a horrible design for a freezer. Anyway, it inevitably turns into a pit of despair. There's no organization whatsoever. If you have a pull-out freezer like we have, and I'm going to show it to you in a second, if you figured out a way to crack the system and keep it well organized, I would be eager for your suggestions and advice, because this is not the first time I've had a freezer like this, and before it also turned into a complete pit of despair. So last night was the night. We had it scheduled, my husband and I, to go through the freezer together and just fully empty it out, fully clean it, because it was disgusting. Not okay. Because we knew we could take everything to the trash. We live in kind of an urban environment, as I've talked about before, and so we try to not put a ton of food, like we wouldn't want to put that out and have that in our bin for a while, because we just, you know, we have restaurants right back, like they're critters, right? We want to keep the critters at bay as much as we can. So anyway, I'm going to show you that process. We filmed it last night, and I'll speed it up for you and kind of explain to you what's going on. But I thank you in advance for not judging my secret shame that is our absolutely disgusting freezer. Absolutely disgusting freezer. So I'll go ahead and insert that footage here. So as I mentioned, we have a pull-out drawer style freezer that has a large basin on the bottom and then a shallower secondary drawer on top. We do have a built-in ice maker, and that large like ice receiver bin is very easily removable, but we don't remove it nearly as often as we should. We use that secondary smaller drawer mostly to house our frozen meat and our dog food. Our dog gets a treat every morning called a Pupsicle. If you've not seen it, they're just a really fun interactive toy that you can fill with a frozen treat, and you can buy a mold, and so we just fill it up with some of her favorite things and freeze it, but inevitably, because it's unlidded, bits of it kind of flake off, and we're just not great at going back through and wiping it down, which is disgusting. I am aware. We really need to improve how we manage that space. The bottom basin is filled almost entirely with fresh fruits and vegetables. We had a few leftover meals that we had every intention of eating again, but as things do in these basin style freezers, it just kind of weasels its way to the bottom, never to be seen or heard from again. So we forget about stuff. I genuinely welcome any suggestions that you have for organizing this space better. In a previous home, I also had a pull-out drawer style freezer and did try to use bins and like different kinds of internal separators to create more organization, but inevitably even that system failed, and since frozen fruits and vegetables often lack structure, it's hard for us to just keep it organized, but we're purposing to do better this go around. So that is much better now. It's much better now. And I went in this morning to pull out some ground beef to make dinner for my husband and son this evening. And it just felt like a breath of fresh air. Like, oh, this is how it's meant to be. This is how it's supposed to look. And now I feel like we're going to be able to be more mindful about how we're grocery shopping and what we're getting and getting frozen things. But we've really purposed to shop our freezer every week so that we don't get as quickly anyway back into just a full freezer with stuff that really we can't use. I mean, just so much of what we pulled out last night was freezer burnt and not usable anymore, which is a waste. It's a waste, and there are so many people out there who are under-resourced, and I don't know, there's a lot of guilt involved in allowing our freezer to get to that point. But we're going to try to be more mindful and more purposeful about that moving forward. So I'll check in with you and let you know how it's going, because maybe what we really need is an accountability partner. Well, I'm going to hit the road. I've been like nursing my coffee for the last hour, hoping that it's going to perform some sort of miracle to get me charged and ready for the day. I don't think it's gonna do that today. I think today we're just gonna slug along. Thankfully, it's a relatively slow day at work, and I have a fun project that I can dive into that will probably be a good use of what I can only imagine is going to be a very fractured brain. For me, as a woman with ADD, a tired brain is like a useless brain. So anyway, I think the fewer problem solving situations I find myself in today, the more productive my day will be. So I'm gonna go to work. I have a few meetings, and then I'm gonna dive into that project, and hopefully it's a good day. And then this evening, my husband and I are going on a grocery shopping date. Actually, we're going on a grocery store tour date. So we eat mindfully in our home, and we have up until recently been able to, and I shouldn't say that, we still can afford it. We eat mostly local, organic stuff. Our general grocery shopping routine is to go to a local farm stand for all of our produce, a local animal farm for all of our meat, and then to fill in the gaps at a local organic store that's like local to Maryland. They have a few stores, so it's kind of like a chain, but a local one. And on an average week, our grocery bill is somewhere between $300 and $400 on an average week. And just like there's 3 adults here in the home, and then we have our daughter on the weekends. And the 3 adults who are here in the home, we're only all eating dinner. Our son takes care of his other meals on his own in his apartment downstairs. So we're just getting to the place as grocery prices continue to rise that we're just recognizing what we're doing is not sustainable. It's just not. And I ended up finding a gal on Instagram who has made some shifts to how her family is grocery shopping. And it still kind of very much aligns with the nutrition values that we have, but it's also significantly reduced her grocery bill every month. I'll insert, I forget her name now. I've only just found her last night, literally at like 1:30 in the morning. So I'll insert her name in the description below. But anyway, we're gonna take her advice and we're gonna try it out. So we're gonna go tour a local Aldi this evening. I've been in one a few times. That's where our son goes shopping for his stuff. But we're gonna go tour an Aldi and see what we think and just get an idea of their prices and their options. And I imagine stores like that kind of change their inventory with, I don't know, relative frequency, but I'm sure they kind of have some staples. I don't know, we're learning. What we've been doing isn't working. So now that we have a freshly cleaned freezer, we're also gonna start reevaluating our grocery shop rhythm. So that'll be really exciting. That's a fun little date night for us. So I'm gonna head to work, and then, yeah, let's get this day going. Well, good afternoon and happy Friday. Happy gorgeous Friday. Exciting news. This is the first day all week that we have had sunshiny weather. It is absolutely gorgeous outside. So beautiful. I actually had intended to work outside on our back patio. We have like a nice table with umbrella and all of that, but the county has shown up. They're like, I'm looking out the window behind you. I think they're cleaning out the storm drain that's on the street today. So it's very loud outside. There are lots of workers. So I will not be working outside today, but it is a work from home day. So I've been posted up for the last several hours in the dining room, just plugging away. I had the window open for a little while, and then genuinely it just got like way too loud, way too loud. So anyway, I realized I hadn't checked in yet to say happy Friday and welcome to the day. So I wanted to just take a minute to do so. I actually slept last night. I feel like a whole new woman today. I got up feeling refreshed and restored. I was able to just sleep throughout the night, which, as we talked about yesterday, has been really hard to do lately. Like, it's just completely evading me. But I did it last night like a champion, and I woke up feeling great. And so I, took a little extra care this morning. I curled my hair and put on makeup and all of the things to kind of help reinforce the fact that I'm feeling really stinking good today. My husband and I, last night, we did go and check out that grocery store. We had such a fun time, and I'm not gonna lie, shame on me for being a little bit resistant. I was completely blown away by how many organic products they had. I mean, genuinely, I felt like I could have done my entire grocery shop there and purchased probably 90% of what I would typically purchase organic there. I was just surprised. And again, shame on me. I don't know what I thought we were walking into, but I was super wrong. Whatever expectations or misconceptions, I don't know, I was wrong. It was wonderful, and it was clean and fully stocked. It was everything you want a grocery store to be. And on top of it, the prices were like ridiculous. I pulled out the receipts. I've been saving receipts as we've been going the last couple of weeks, just so that we're able to price compare. And comparing stuff that my son and I purchased last Friday evening at Walmart to the stuff at Aldi, I mean, apples to apples comparison, and they were literally it was like a third of the price. So that's a no-brainer. That gal that I saw on Instagram, she does kind of her primary shop at Aldi and then fills in some gaps at Trader Joe's. Well, we've got a TJ's like right down the street from that Aldi's. I'm sorry if you can hear the construction outside. It really is a thing. And then she also does like a once a month shop at a discount grocer. So this evening, ordinarily our daughter comes down on Fridays, but she isn't coming down tonight. She's coming down tomorrow morning. So we've got a free Friday, which hardly ever happens. And so we're gonna go kind of peruse a discount grocery store this evening to see if it might make sense for us to pick up some things like stock and pasta and rice and chips and other kind of snack stuff, like shelf stable pantry items that we know we're going to go through in a month. It might just make more sense to buy all of that at a store like that, if we're able to get the same kind of quality that we prefer. We're not quite ready to start like chipping away at that piece. So anyway, I don't know. I'm speaking out loud. I have a lot of energy. I slept last night. It's weird. Anyway, welcome to my Friday. Well, hello again. It has been several hours since I last checked in, and I finished up my work day, sort of. So I do on Fridays work from home, and traditionally it's a full work day. And it's a day where I can check a lot of boxes, get a lot of tasks done, or I can really lock in on a project and move it forward. And I was able to do a lot of that this morning. But today is a little bit of a different rhythm because I am off this afternoon, kind of. So our church leadership, our eldership, really prioritizes the spiritual wellness and health of our staff team, which is incredible because we know in ministry burnout is like the percentage is very high, and people who leave ministry as a result of burnout, that percentage is very high, and our elders know that, and so they really want us to carve out intentional time to be taking care of ourselves, which that responsibility falls on us, and we're meant to do that every day. But a few times a year, they give us a chunk of time in our day set aside for a spiritual retreat. And that's what this afternoon is for me. So I have a 4-hour block of time that is wholly set aside to just focus on my spiritual health and wellness. And since it is spectacularly gorgeous outside, I thought I'd pack up a few things and head to a park for a little while and just sit outside. I'll probably just bring like a beach towel and put it down, but just be outside and spend some time really immersing myself in some scripture and some theological reading and prayer. It's just meant to be a time where you fully unplug. So like this is a time where I would leave my phone on airplane mode, or do not disturb rather, so that only a few people can call and only if it's an emergency. But I am fully disconnected from all of the other distractions so that I can just really focus on replenishing myself. And it couldn't come at a better time because, as you know, this week has just been really depleting in a lot of different ways. So as I'm getting ready to head out the door, I thought I'd show you what it is I'm going to read. I have my trusty big old honkin' Bible. Did you hear that? Honk. It's huge. This translation is the ESV translation, and it's what I primarily use like just for like normal, you can see it's loved, just for normal like day in, day out scripture interaction. But then also along with that, I am bringing and reading Dietrich Bonhoeffer's The Cost of Discipleship. I am specifically bringing, I've read this book several times, but I am finding myself really craving the Beatitudes. And so there's a whole, a big chunk of this book is devoted to the Sermon on the Mount, and which is in Matthew chapter 5. Matthew is a gospel book in the New Testament of the Christian Bible. And so the Beatitudes are part of that Sermon on the Mount, which is a teaching that Jesus gave. But I find myself really craving all of it. I just want to hear it, read it, believe it, be it as much as I possibly can. I feel like the Beatitudes stand apart from our current climate in America. And anyway, I just find myself being really attracted to being in that theological space right now. So I thought this is probably the perfect way to give me a little reminder, some encouragement, and then maybe make me feel a little bit more equipped to navigate this next season of ministry, and then also, of course, just life in general. So I'm going to pack up and go head to the park for a little bit, and then I'll head home right about the time my husband's getting home from work so that we can begin our date night. It should be a really lovely afternoon. Seriously, it's so beautiful out. It is a little while later and I'm home, and Clover and I are getting ready to go on a little walk around the neighborhood before Doug and I head on our evening date. He's on his way home from work now, and I was at the park for about 2.5, almost 3 hours. Not as long as I would have wanted, but I'm gonna put my headphones in and listen to, I found a podcast that's talking specifically about the Beatitudes, and it very much relates to what Bonhoeffer is talking about in his Cost of Discipleship book as it pertains to the Beatitudes. So the party continues, but we're gonna go for a little walk through the neighborhood before our evening date. So Clover and I are home from our walk, and I realized while we were out walking the neighborhood that she and I are twins today. We're both wearing our teal. Clover, are you wearing your teal outfit today? We're in full tongue flop mode. That's how we know she's very, very happy. Well, Douglas just got home, and I'm going to get changed into something like still super casual, but just a little bit nicer since it is date night. And then we're gonna be hitting the road. Okay, Clover has joined me, or maybe she's leaving. I'm not sure. But here is the fit. I just changed into like a white blouse. And then threw on a denim jacket for a little retro vibe. My hair is just kind of living its life. I did put on a slightly darker, so I was looking at myself in the viewfinder, a slightly darker lip, and then this kind of like fun golden bangle. Got my sunnies that are prescription because we're cute but we're old and we need bifocals. That's just where we are. And if you can hear panting from the most adorable pup in the world, that is Clover behind me. She doesn't know it yet, but she's not coming this evening. She's going to be very sad when she finds that out, but that's okay because she's going to go on a big adventure with me tomorrow morning. At least I think so, if she wakes up in a good mood. All right, I'm gonna go find Douglas. I think he might still actually be on a work call, but I'm gonna find him and we're gonna hit the road in just a few minutes. Good evening. It is now about 11:30 on Friday. We just walked in the door from date night. We were out way later than we thought we would be. We had such a great time. We went to a bargain grocery outlet kind of store and bought a bunch of like shelf-stable treats, like bags of pretzels and things like that that could get us through the next month. And then we went out to dinner at a restaurant we'd never been to before that was up in the area. Hi, Chloe. And plugged in all of the, like our whole receipt. Sorry, I'm so tired. Plugged in our whole receipt into the Wegmans grocery app just to do like a cost comparison. Clover, what are you doing? And we saved the stuff that we purchased there today. We saved about 60%. So it cost us $80 tonight there. And again, that's like a month's worth of like extra treats and stuff for lunch boxes or lunches for my husband and snacks and stuff to have on the weekend. I'm exhausted. I like to be in bed at 9 o'clock. This 11:30 business, this is tough for me. But anyway, we put it in the Wegmans app and it was $80, and it was $80 at the store we went to. When we put it in the app for Wegmans, it was $200. Well, like $197 and change. Blew my mind, blew my mind. So yeah, we just had fun. A little grocery store date, and then we went out to dinner. I had a beet salad, which is like one of my favorite things to get at any restaurant. And Doug got, I think he got short ribs. And I don't remember the name of the restaurant. Funk's, maybe is what it was called. I don't know. It was right across the street from where we went grocery shopping, and they had live music outside, and it looked like a pretty environment. So it was. We had a nice time. I'm exhausted. We need to go to bed. Doug has a very early golf game tomorrow, and I am driving to about an hour or so north to pick up our daughter early in the morning because she stayed up at her mom's home with her mom and stepdad overnight tonight to hang out with some friends. So I have that early trip tomorrow morning that I'm very excited about. So yeah, we need to hit the hay. We need to get to bed. So good night, and I will see you in the morning. And happy beautiful Saturday. It is another stunningly beautiful day today, which is great because I've got a big road trip, car ride this morning to drive about an hour north to pick up our daughter, my stepdaughter. She lives Monday through Friday. She's with her mom and stepdad. They live about 2 hours north of us, and ordinarily on Friday evenings we meet up in the middle to kind of swap her. So weird. This whole like co-parenting thing is the strangest thing. But she chose to stay at her other house last night because all of her school friends, they were all kind of hanging out and doing something together. So instead of meeting last night, her mom and I are meeting up this morning to do that. Doug is at a work golf thing this morning. It's literally the perfect weather for that. I'm so excited for him. After I get our girl, I think we're gonna stop by the grocery store because despite the fact that I have essentially lived in a grocery store this week, we did not get anything for the cookout we're going to this evening. So we have a big like end of summer cookout firework party at work tonight. Well, it's at church. It's for church, not for work. We have work things too sometimes, but this one is like for our whole church. And that's super exciting because we're a church that has many locations, but we all come together for this big end of summer party. And a bunch of friends, a bunch of our friends, we're kind of all planning to sit together. We'll bring food to share. So kind of like a cookout potluck kind of thing. And completely escaped my mind that we needed to show up with a dish to share. So I think I'll grab her this morning, we'll stop by the store on the way home, and then we'll spend most of the day today probably going through her schoolwork, because this was the first week of school. She started back at school on Tuesday. And then this evening we have the event at church, which will be really fun. So I'm going to wrap up to this weekly vlog here. I might pop in some footage of the fireworks just because it's fun, but I'm not going to show too much of that event because it's like lots of people and my work, and I don't know. I just try to be mindful of boundaries. But I might show some footage of the fireworks. Otherwise, I'm gonna kind of piece out this vlog. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed kind of following along this week, particularly as we navigated reevaluating our grocery budget, go ahead and comment below if you have figured out some tips and tricks that save your family a lot of money in this what feels like steadily climbing grocery economy. I'm so eager to hear and to learn from you. This just feels like, it kind of feels like uncharted territory for us a little bit, and we're excited that what we've tried this week seems to work. So we'll report back as we move forward and see, like, do our meals taste good? Do we feel like they're good quality? Just all of that kind of stuff. But be sure to subscribe and like this video and comment below, and you can check out the description box for other ways that we can connect in community. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay, that's a wrap. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you liked hanging out, hit that like button, subscribe, and take a peek at the description to find me in other corners of the internet. Until next time, keep it real.